Once upon a time, there was a great scientist who lived 13.7 billion years ago. On his birthday, his friends Space and Time gave him a present. They called it the Big Bang. When the great scientist opened the Big Bang, out exploded marvelous and wonderful things such as gravity, electromagnetism, protons, neutrons, and other such scientific gifts. The scientist was overwhelmed with joy. He had never seen nothing turn into something before. He wondered what he could do and create with these new complexities. 380,000 years later, he discovered that by putting protons and neutrons together, they created elements such as helium and hydrogen. He got so carried away with putting these together that soon there formed many clouds of helium and hydrogen just floating about in space. The great scientist then wondered what would happen if he used gravity to push the two different clouds together. When gravity pulled them together, they started to create a heat and energy so large that it started to burn and create light. The scientist was in awe and decided to call these balls of light stars. Many stars formed and even created clumps of themselves, which the scientists liked to call galaxies. It was a marvelous sight to behold. As the great scientist watched these stars burn, he noticed that when they ran out of hydrogen, they would collapse, reignite, and burn helium, then collapse and reignite and shoot out new elements such as carbon. Then the star would collapse again and again and create many elements that the scientists had never seen before. When some of the biggest stars collapsed, they turned into supernova, and they exploded all of the elements the scientists could ever dream of. He was thrilled to see such a marvelous production of new toys to play with. Eventually, he got bored of watching the stars collapse over and over and decided he wanted to create an even bigger complexity. So, taking some elements here and some from there, he began to create planets with the help of gravity. He collided and mixed and collided some more, and eventually he made Jupiter and Saturn and Mars. He liked these new planets, but wanted something slightly better. So using oxygen, iron, silicon, and aluminum, the great scientist created Earth. He was very pleased with this creation and loved it dearly. This was his favorite complexity. Eventually Earth started to produce small organisms. 4.5 billion years of evolution later, I sat here and told you this story.